Good day, and welcome back to Pause and Respond. This is episode 8. Up to this point, we've been doing internal work. We've talked about reactions, why they happen, and why awareness often comes late. We've explored avoidance, honesty, unmet needs, and even began a discussion on boundaries. But all of that clarity gets tested in one place more than anywhere else, and that's within conflict. You don't really know how regulated you are until someone or something challenges you, until someone criticizes you, interrupts you, maybe misunderstands you. Maybe they begin to raise their voice or even withdraw. Conflict exposes your regulation level very quickly. And today's episode is not about communication techniques. It's about something even more foundational. How to stay regulated when the tensions do rise. Because conflict isn't the problem. The problem is found within the escalation of the conflict. Most people think conflict is about content. Who said what, who's right, who's wrong, who misunderstood whom. But conflict is rarely just about the content. It's about two nervous systems reacting at the same time. When someone criticizes you or dismisses you, your body reacts before your thoughts do. Your heart rate may increase, your breathing might change, your muscles begin to tighten or stiffen, your voice shifts, your speed increases. You are no longer in a position to be using reasoning first. You have now entered the phase of defending. And when two activated systems collide, intensities multiply. Tone rises, speed increases, old history begins to resurface. And now it's not about the present moment anymore. It's about protection. If you don't understand this, you'll try to fix conflict at the level of words. But regulation happens at the level of the body first. Here's the shift. You cannot regulate another person. You can only regulate yourself. But your regulation influences the tone of the interaction. Calm is contagious. However, so is escalation. When someone raises their voice and you match it, the interaction intensifies. When someone criticizes you and you immediately defend, intensity increases. But when one person slows down, even slightly, something begins to shift. Not instantly, not perfectly, but noticeably. Regulation is not passivity, it's leadership. The most regulated person in the room influences the emotional ceiling. And here is why this feels difficult. When you feel attacked, misunderstood, or dismissed, your system wants to feel relief, immediate relief. It wants to defend, correct, interrupt, go in for the win. That relief feels like it's satisfying in the moment, but it just fuels escalation. Regulation delays the relief. It asks you to tolerate the discomfort for a few extra seconds, and that tolerance changes outcomes. Think about this. Say somebody tells you, you never listen. That's not true. You're overreacting. Both voices begin to rise and tempo increases. Past arguments begin to enter the room. Neither person is listening anymore. They're both in protection phase. The content may have started small, but the nervous systems took over. At this point, conflict resolution is hardly possible. What happens to most people is they stop the conflict at some point and end up having to go back and apologize for their behavior and their reaction to what took place as opposed to the content of the issue that was actually at hand, thus ensuring that that wasn't resolved and will be argued about again in the future. Or maybe it goes like you never listen. You pause, your breath begins to slow, your tone lowers. It sounds like you're feeling unheard. The issue isn't resolved yet, but the temperature changes because one nervous system stayed steady, and steadiness lowers the intensity. Regulation is not about becoming emotionless. It's about staying connected to yourself while emotion is present. You can feel frustration and stay steady. You can disagree strongly and stay steady. Regulation means your nervous system isn't driving the interaction. It starts with recognizing activation early. When your jaw tightens, when your chest constricts, when you mentally rehearse your defense while the other person's talking, that's the doorway. Catch it there. All right. These three anchors are what matter the most in those situations. First, it's your breath. Slow it intentionally. Lower that heart rate. Longer exhale than inhale. Even one breath shifts your physiology and moves you away from that fight or flight reaction. The second one is tone. Lower it slightly. Steady it deliberately. Tone communicates safety faster than the content. And then third, tempo. Slow your sentence by 20%. Pause before responding. Let silence exist briefly. Speed fuels escalation. Slowing tempo interrupts momentum. And here's the deeper skill. Delay the defense. When criticized, your system wants to correct immediately. Instead of defending intent right away, acknowledge the impact first. You don't have to agree, but you can still stay steady. Your job in conflict is not to win. It's to remain anchored. Anchored people maintain influence. Escalated people lose it. Regulation is quiet leadership. It sets the tone without demanding control. And over time, this tone compounds. You don't eliminate the tension, you manage it. And that changes relational stability. If staying regulated feels unnatural, it doesn't mean you're immature. It means your nervous system learned something different. Most of us did not grow up watching calm conflict. We watched intensity. We saw raised voices or sarcasm, maybe the silent treatment given to other people. We see others withdraw or maybe even have explosions after withdrawal. Those patterns that we witnessed became templates for how we now deal with conflict in our lives. We noticed that speed became protection, or at least it appeared to be, that defense appeared to bring about safety. So when tensions rise, your body moves fast before you've even thought anything through. That's a conditioned response, not an immaturity. Slowing down can feel like exposure, like you're not protecting yourself, like you're losing ground, but you're not losing, you're leading. Regulation requires tolerating discomfort. Defense gives a quick relief, but steadiness requires patience. And patience may feel unnatural at first. You're not trying to eliminate the activation. You're building tolerance for staying steady while activated. That's maturity. That's retraining. Retraining takes repetition. This week, don't try to master conflict. Practice one micro-regulation movement. When tensions rise, pause 3 seconds. Lower your tone. Slow your next sentence. That's it. No new scripts, just nervous system leadership. If you forget in the moment, just reflect afterwards. Reflection is still training. Being able to identify where you could have inserted those skills allows you to be able to insert them next time. Notice when your voice speeds up, when you interrupt, or when your breathing tightens, when you feel urgency to defend immediately. That urge is a cue. Pause there. Also notice how conversations feel when you regulate first. Even if imperfect, small shifts compound over time. Regulation builds stability over time. Conflict will happen. Disagreement is quite normal. The question isn't whether tensions rise. It's whether you can slow the moment enough to choose. You cannot regulate someone else, but you can influence the tone by managing yourself. In the Pause and Respond book, this process is explored more deeply. How internal steadiness shapes relational trust. You can learn more at pauseandrespond.com. The book is available and also the workbook. You can also like and save this podcast for more in the future. But for now, let's let this podcast here be enough. Let's slow our breath, lower our tone, and reduce our speed. Stay steady when it would be easier to escalate. And remember, less reactions equal more choice. Have a good day.